Welcome back to The Basements Were Stars. I'm your host, 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹ecie, and it's been an eventful week with the now infamous Wired article coming out and exposing marketing agency Chaotic Goods' illicit marketing and publicity campaigns. You want to know my thoughts on it? I think it's trash that any firm, entity, or artist would use tactics that are identical to genocidal states and heads of state. Now that we got that piece of housekeeping out of the way, keeping things Near Eastern again, my guest for this episode is hip-hop artist, MC, poet, and writer 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗆cie. We get into microphones, production techniques, the state of modern pop music, AI, System of a Down, his upcoming Western Armenian project, and a whole lot more. Here's my conversation with 𝗙cie, aka SayMo. We're talking crappy mics.
Yeah, crappy mics, dude. Everybody, I think that a lot of people come into music and just buy a bunch of shit, and those are the people I end up targeting on Facebook Marketplace so I can buy their shit. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. Nah, because I remember coming up, I bought a snowball from Blue.
Oh, I still have mine.
Yeah, dude, that thing could get dropped off the second story of a building and work fine.
It's all plastic, which is wild.
Yeah, it's all plastic. I don't even know how it gets the sound it does, but it's fine. But
I know.
after that, I was like, okay, I think I might want to go with Blue more. And then I ended up upgrading to like Blue that was like $1,300 for no reason in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up renting it out to a studio every single time. Like for weeks at a time. I would just be like, whatever. And it paid for itself, but then I just sold it. I think it was a Kiwi, actually, the Blue Kiwi.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah, the green body. I mean, when the microphone comes in a wooden box like a sarcophagus, yeah, it's a nice microphone.
It's a nice mic. What was that one video that was going around for a while? It was DJ Yella talking about how they recorded straight out of Compton. So it was just one SM57 passing it around. Basically, I was like, that makes complete sense.
What kind of microphone did you use on Straight Outta Compton?
I think it was a 57. Short 57.
A short 57?
You know how these people buying all these mics and all?
Yeah.
We have one.
It 100% sounds like that too. There's another video of I think it's Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan. They have a song. They did a whole mixtape together, and they recorded the whole mixtape, both of them in the vocal booth at the same time.
Just sharing a mic.
Both of them just on left and right of it. Yeah, their engineer is 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗆cie. I think he's half Armenian. Pretty cool guy.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, he's probably like one of the best. I would say on the East Coast, he's probably the best engineer. I know that the West Coast has a lot of great engineers, but
yeah, for sure.
But he's probably the first person I heard mix rap music in a way where it sounded more like it was a band. He would put Young Thug in the left ear, and then he would put Rich Homie Quan in the right ear. So it'd feel like you have these two guys just over the top of your head, just rapping at you. So it's
like talking down on your head. It's amazing.
Yeah, talking down on your head. Yeah, he would use the spatial shit, so it would make you feel the record. So it's like I've never felt that way before, unless it was a rock band or some shit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, those are total rock recording techniques.
Yeah, I mean the guy is. I think right now he's working with this group out of Harlem that's part reggaeton, part hardcore metal. And it's some of the most interesting music I've heard. Yeah. So, I mean, Armenian dudes trying randomshit.com.
I mean, that's kind of the story of our lives, right?
Yeah, I think that we all find like little pockets of stuff that we find interesting and we end up in different places. So,
And then we just end up exploring it to the fullest until we make sense of it, right?
Yeah. I mean, look at System of a Down.
Yeah.
What they did was, honestly, they're like, their definitive sound of that like scene that they came up in, and they were like pushing it more than anybody else in their scenes.
They're the biggest thing in that world.
Yeah, they became like the biggest thing by far. That was like that was like the late 90s scene, early 2000s. They just like completely
late
dominated.
97 all the way to now, yeah.
Yeah, I actually just saw them for the first time last summer.
Oh wow.
Dude, honestly, Surge vocals live, most ridiculous thing. I saw him in the stadium in Rutherford, and I was like, dude, I don't want to go to this concert. It's a band in a fucking
arena
stadium.
Show, right?
Yeah, I was like, it's an arena show. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
And then the second they started playing, I was like, yeah, I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong.
I feel like I haven't seen them live in ages, but from what I've seen in recent years, their live sound has gotten so good.
Oh, dude, whether it's the dual vocals or it's just the band, they know what they're doing nowadays. I guess they had that little break between them.
Yeah, and it sounded like they were still trying to figure things out at that point,
I mean, their music isn't that easy to play live, it's pretty technical.
Yeah.
It's pretty technical, and they're lucky they have Serge as the front man because not everybody could sing that shit live either. Because that
Yeah.
shit, it's not easy. Like we know he's a trained opera singer, so anybody else would fumble that live all the time.
Yeah.
For me, if I'm performing live, all I need is a backing track, and most rappers don't even do that. They'll rap over their own songs, which is the weirdest etiquette of all time. Because if I wanted to listen to the actual song, I would listen to the song. No, I came here for a live performance.
You came for the yeah, exactly.
The room for error is so big for me. Like I could just do whatever. Like if I miss a beat, I can just push everything
sure.
back forward. For
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
they
yeah.
can't push it back a beat, dude. No.
And I've seen footage where they weren't on, and you can hear that they're not. You know what I mean? It's just like it's obvious when they're not on. You know?
Yeah, it's like push. Like if let's say
Yeah.
we're talking about like looking at a DAW, it's like
Yeah.
pushed over to the right a little bit.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. It's funny you say that because as much as I do appreciate Daron's vocals and singing style, like he is a charismatic dude, but I still don't picture him as a front man.
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, personally, I know this is gonna get me like booed and get tomatoes thrown at me. I like his voice better than Serge's. Just like it's my affinity.
No, same here. I think he objectively understands vocal technique better than him, but I don't view him as like a front person.
No, absolutely not. I think Serge is the cookie cutter's frontman if you think about it. Like you can sell Serge to any audience because he just has that presence. He's like a big guy, like like he has all that. But you would think that he would be the better singer, but for the type of music they make, I think Daron is 100% of a better singer. It's like intelligence versus applied intelligence, you know?
That's exactly it. Yeah, and it's evident on the Scar stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the first album, the second album, like you can't really. I don't think they're really neck and neck. But then like once you go on more, I think that even Serge started to realize because I know they all write it together and stuff. So
Yeah.
just getting more Daron involved was better for the band overall. Because plus they have two different voices that contrast so well. So
That's
it's
true.
like there's not a lot of bands that have that. Like a lot of bands that I've listened to throughout the year, the second vocalist will be complimentary, but like in a way where it's just a diminished version of the first guy. Like it's not a complete difference that they have.
Right. Or it's in a completely supporting role then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like really supplemental and it's not like complimentary in a way.
Yeah, totally. So tell me, what have you been working on lately?
I mean, I've been releasing stuff here and there, just doing snippets because that's
Yeah.
what I like to do, just be annoying to people.
Yeah.
But
we can get into that later.
yeah, but I mean, the thing is, yeah, dude, legalize weed in Armenia, dude, legalize weed in Armenia. I mean, if you look at it, if anybody knows me from Instagram, they'll be like, it's the guy who just says legalize weed in Armenia on every comment section. But that was a calculated thing. But I've been working on this new project, Ottoman Anatolia, since I guess 2023 when I last dropped my other one, which is Words to Keep You Warm. So for this one, we decided that we were going to go all Armenian samples. And the first single was 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗆, which came out last summer-ish.
Yeah.
And then we had some problems with that, obviously. I tried to get the record clear. I sampled Tears in My Eyes by, I don't even want to say because then this podcast
No. We can look it up later.
No, yeah, Tears in My Eyes. No, I'm joking around. But there was a sample clearance issue. I mean, I reached out to the people who own the rights from Rocky Hill Records, and it was like, I went out of my way for months to try to reach out to them. Me and 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗆 made a video for it, and the video's like really good, I would say. And that was, I'd say it's like the reflection of how we're approaching this project overall, more visually based. I mean, the reason why I started working with 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹 of 𝗙cie Studios was he has like this high art value that he puts to his work. And I want to do that high art value towards my own work and like have this standard for myself and set it. So with the first project that we did together, he was like, okay, like what's your first goal for this one? I'm like, okay, I'm going to produce one record on this one. And on this one, I'm going to be producing a couple records. I've picked out all the samples for most of the songs. And then there's a couple of self-produced ones that have no samples, but overall, it's been a journey because I'm like trying to put together 60 minutes of music. And I don't think people realize like how much music that is. Like 60 minutes is a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard enough to get like 2-3 songs done.
Yeah, no, I mean, me and 𝗙cie go back and forth and he's like, dude, just drop 5 songs. I'm like, dude, I've done the 5 songs thing. And like, we kind of catered it last time when we did a Words to Keep You Warm. It was like 5 songs, 11 minutes total. And I was like, okay, let me get everybody's TikTok brain enough time to get their attention on it. And then if they want to run it back, they can run it back. The whole thing loops over to itself where every record bleeds into each other and the last one bleeds into the first one. But I mean, I think that every artist has this thing where they want to do that magnum opus, where they want to have like that big body of work. And I'm kind of falling for that right now. So I've been working on that. I've been working on that with 𝗙cie from Minnesota. He's a part of this collective I'm in. It's called the Doobies. We have 11, 12 members from across the country. We got a guy in Saudi Arabia who's actually from London. We have people from all over, honestly, and it's been like an extended COVID period almost, where you know how everybody was like working from computer to computer during
Yeah,
COVID
yeah.
making records. Like that's how like I kind of got readjusted to making music when I came back to it in 2020. But now we kind of sort of for the last 2 years we've been working on all these projects with each other, putting out 3 packs and 2 packs. At this point, as weird as I want to say, we've gotten to a good point with it. I'd rather be in the studio with people I work with, obviously,
Sure.
but it takes a little bit of time to coalesce. Like I would compare it to like having a psychiatrist. Like if your first meeting with your psychiatrist is over like a Zoom meeting, you're probably fucked. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're not gonna have
Yeah,
that
right.
rapport.
Right.
But like I met a couple of the guys the first time, and then after that, for the past 2 years, we've just been doing a bunch of shit. And this summer we're gonna have this meeting in I think it's Wisconsin technically. Yeah, it's in
Okay, yeah.
Wisconsin.
It's right there.
And we're gonna be doing it's like over the border. I'm flying into Minnesota. We're all flying into Minnesota and doing like this weekend project for 4 days in July. Yeah, and shooting a bunch of content. And the content thing is really what it is nowadays. As much as like that's a buzzword, I think a lot of the time now that I've been working on Ottoman Anatolia, which is where I'm from. Anatolia is probably where a lot of Armenians are genetically from, I
Right.
would say.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's where my grandma still lives. Like I was just there. You can't really argue with the facts. I
Yeah,
mean, you
right.
could, but at the end of the day,
It's a futile existence.
yeah, it's like I think it's interesting because like you have William Saroyan who was always talking about like his Anatolian roots and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and he went back and he visited the city. I forget what city he's from, but he always had these back and forths in his own mind because he was like creating characters and stuff just to represent like his own thought patterns. And he'd be like, "Yeah, dude, we got to take the city back. But at the end of the day, dude, the city is still your city if you go back to it. That's like really the thing I've always taken from it. There's like no ownership of it, but I feel like Ottoman Anatolia, there's like a lot of thought being going into it in terms of visuals and stuff like that. Because a lot of the stuff I work off of visuals as the first medium, really, or just like a poem I'll write or something like that. And then I'll work on the music side afterwards. It'll be like 2 jobs going on at once. Some
Sure.
records will come up on like just me strumming on the bass or like playing around on the keyboard. 2 things I started doing since the pandemic. And then on the other end, it'll be like listening to a bunch of records like Steve Minassian or like Hampig Minassian,
Yeah.
like all these guys. Like there's so much music and like all these guys. Like there was the 80s disco stuff. There's like the retro chic 70s guys who are doing like this like 1950s style from Armenia. Like
Yeah.
it's
And then there's like the proggy stuff.
yeah, there's proggy stuff. There's like the late 80s Soviet rock stuff, which is
Mhm,
like so sick. That stuff has its own aesthetic. You kind of want to grab a little bit of each one of those and like chop it in a way where it's obviously sounds like hip hop and it sounds like my own original work, but it also gives people like the reason to go looking back into those records because there's so many records that are overlooked and people just don't know how good they are.
Yeah. Or lost for that matter too.
Oh, dude, yeah. There's so many records that like think about top 10 Rabbis by Grisha. This is
Right.
like probably, dude, if there was a vinyl made of that, do you know how fast that would sell out?
Yeah.
I was talking about this the other day. Like, it's the most interesting bit of sociology and music at the same time because you have this guy doing covers of a bunch of American records, introducing them to a post-Soviet Armenia who has never heard any of these records before. So they hear James Brown, they hear Tupac, but it's like through the filter of this Armenian guy who's
Right,
doing
right,
like
right.
skits about being like a teacher in a class and shit like that. So I think that record and the way he delivered it is probably the Armenian version of what I would say Handsome Boy Modeling School was for like hip hop over here, which is like
That
a
makes
huge
sense.
it's a huge compliment. It's
Yeah.
like Prince Paul, like those are people who are very talented. Like Grisha is very talented in what he does, and I know he has the hike stuff and he has all the other stuff, but that stuff's not really that important to me because the conceptual way that he delivered these records, like I know I'm not saying that they're like records that are going to stand up by themselves, but when you look at them as a body of work, it's
Or
a
even
very
from a philosophical point of view.
it's the philosophy. It's like really as a concept and as the body of work, you just listen to it all the way through.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's where you really get the value from it.
Yeah, for sure. Take me back maybe to the beginning. What initially sparked it for you?
I would say probably getting access to a computer way too young at
Sure.
like 12 or 13 years old when I got
Yeah, yeah.
onto like what was it,
LimeWire.
LimeWire, Kazaa, and stuff like that. And I was just downloading everything, like literally everything. And my brother would buy CDs from Coconuts, and like he would just get random singles. Like he wouldn't even know what he was buying.
Oh Lord, coconuts. I remember.
Yeah, the Coconuts 2-for-1 wall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was a major thing because like we're immigrants and stuff, and my mom was
Yeah.
like, "All right, go to the 2-for-1 wall, just buy some random stuff." So
Yeah.
then he'll have like some classics like Cannabis Second Round Knockout, but then he'll have the Thong Song. So it's like a bunch of different things, but until I was like just listening to random stuff until funny enough, MySpace came around. I found a music forum on MySpace, and there was just a bunch of older people just uploading a bunch of random hip hop records from Supreme Clientele, Ghostface. That's probably the record that I heard the first time, and it was like, yeah, I want to make music because it was the most scat jazz. Lyrically, it's just like free form, and the music is just like looped records. Like there's no, a lot of the records don't even have drums added to them. They're just a sample looped in an
Just looped.
ironic way. Yeah, it's just looped. And it's really drumless. And like the drumless thing is a huge debate now in hip hop. It's like, what's actually drumless music? Just to break it down for everybody, if the original sample has drums in it, you can still have that's still a drumless song because you didn't add any drums on it. But
Right.
that's something that we're seeing a lot more now of. So I would say that Ghostface is alongside Rock Marciano and a couple others. I would say he's like the forefather of what we're seeing right now in hip hop in general and in the underground, like Earl Sweatshirt, Mike, a lot of these guys. But back to
Yeah.
the story, MySpace, I joined like a hip hop forum. All these people were uploading stuff to like Rapid Share, SendSpace, and I would download all these albums off dial-up and like wait like 9 hours for like a 45 megabyte file. And I would just like watch it and watch it, and I got put onto a lot of stuff. So I think that's where it kind of happened, where I got hooked with the buzz, and I was like 14 years old with like a CD burnt with 70 albums on it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
walking around with those data discs instead of the regular way. Because like once I found out about that, I was like, dude, I don't need an iPod. And then the iPod came around, and that was way too much. I literally had that thing maxed out all the time.
Oh,
But
same. Yeah.
I think that I never really thought of myself as somebody who would make the music until like probably midway through college. My dad passed away. We don't do the therapy thing as Armenians, not at least
No.
not then. And I
No.
was like, let me just try this thing. And I had like bought a microphone. I had bought the Blue Snowball just for fun, like just to mess around with it. And I
Yeah.
was like, I just started making records. We had a basement in the building that I lived in at Rutgers Hardenberg Hall, where it was like classrooms. So I would just go down to the basement at like 2 a.m. in the morning and just record in a classroom. So that's what it really set it off. And then that year was 2012. By 2015, I did the 100th anniversary show for the genocide in New Jersey. It was me and Armin. That was my first show.
Oh
2012
yeah,
is like
Armenian, yeah.
yeah, me. 2012 is like when I was like starting to mess around, but not really serious. I would say like 2014 was like when I started getting serious for the first time. And then we had that show with Armin. It was supposed to be at something factory in Patterson, but then there was like a Turkish bomb threat, so they moved it to the Home Nanyang school, which was kind of weird.
Was it the Sound Factory or?
No, it's the one that has all the light bulbs that are hanging from the ceiling. I forget.
Oh, I know the spot. I did a photo shoot there once. I know.
Yeah,
exactly.
dude. Everybody has done a photo shoot there. It's like
Alice in
one that
Chains
has-
has done a photo shoot there.
That's what I'm saying. It's an iconic
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like for the death of me, I can't remember where it was, but
Yeah, I
we
forgot
went
the
there.
name, yeah.
We did sound check the day before, so I was like, why would we do sound check the day before? They're like, people are gonna be late the day of. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever you said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But day of, we get to switch up to the school I went to as a child, which was definitely interesting as a choice. But yeah, I mean, it really was an eye opener because after that, I did a bunch of shows in the city at the Pyramid Club or Baby's whatever.
Baby's All Right.
Yeah, Baby's All Right, and like a couple of places like that. And for me, it was interesting. And working through the SoundCloud era was, I would say the SoundCloud era was like 2015 to 2017, 2018. I was just making
Yeah.
a bunch of random shit. Like I really didn't have a direction music wise. Because I was just literally, I had like this lack of filter that I have usually in my normal life where I'll say whatever I think. But you know how most artists, not, I wouldn't say most artists, but some artists have this fear of putting out stuff. I never really had that. I would like literally make the demo and drop it on SoundCloud and not really think about it. And that was my problem. I never really sat with the record. And if I sat with it too long, I would kind of sort of second guess it, get in my head about it. So I figured, hey, let me just do this really quick and get it out and then go on to the next idea. And we did a bunch of videos with my friend Nick Gonzalez. He actually has a movie coming out with a couple of super famous people. It's a great movie. Right now he works for USA Weekly. We've been doing skits and stuff since college, but he has this movie that's coming out that's literally, I think, 15 minutes long, and it's the most riveting thing I've seen in a while. It's called Carjack,
Okay.
and it's got and they've got some famous people in it, man. Like it's kind of crazy. But yeah, Carjack is coming to some festivals soon. But working with him, it was kind of sort of interesting learning like the dynamics of how to shoot and learning how to tailor music for video.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of like tapped in my visual mind with the audio mind. So I think I've always had this relationship with the visual aspect of stuff before I make music because it kind of just makes shit make sense in my head because I've never traditionally learned music. I think my brother got piano lessons for 6 months and then he quit. And then my parents were like, yeah, this second kid doesn't need it either because he's probably not going to like it.
That's
you know?
funny.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, they're probably not wrong. I didn't have the patience for it back then, but
Sure. Yeah.
but I ended up using that piano anyway during the pandemic to learn how to play. So I made it back to the piano one way, but
Sure. Yeah. We always find our way back, right?
yeah, and I think that a lot of the stuff, at least when I recommitted back to music in 2020, a lot of the stuff I got lucky with the people I was able to connect with. Like I was able to connect with Heiko on the visual stuff. I was
Yeah.
able to force myself into a way. Like when I met with him, he was doing some cover artwork for Beirut.
Yeah.
So what we,
Yeah.
yeah. So what we did was we did the bonus folder technique. So I pretty much did a freestyle over one of Beirut's songs on LA Zoo, I believe.
Yep.
And then you can literally hear my phone going off in the middle of the recording. We slipped that into the bonus folder. And then he was like, did this guy really freestyle this? And we were like, yeah, whatever. And then he sent me 5 beats. And that's why I have 2 Beirut produced songs on the last, on Words to Keep You Warm. And there's going to be another 2 on this next one. So I've been holding them hostage for like about 5 years. So
Oh, wow.
I got lucky with that. And then I got lucky with Gorgeous Beats as well. Because he was on the internet during the pandemic, or was it after? At sometime around then, he was reaching out to people to work with people, and like I reached out, and he was like kind of cold about it. Then so I just recorded 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗆cie over the song and sent it to him, and he was like, "Okay, this is awesome." And now we're friends. So at the end of the day, the lesson is you just got to be really annoying about it, and just send people. And instead of like talking, I think this really jokes aside, I think it's important for people who are doing collaborations. Instead of coming to somebody with like, "Oh, I would love to work," come with some work ready. It's gonna really make people want to work with you, especially in the online setting.
Yeah.
Because like people really say, "Oh, I want to work with you," blah blah blah, but they end up never sending you something or don't make. It's like a weird small talk conversation you should avoid. Honestly.
Yeah. I've had the opposite issue, but we'll get into that another time.
And change your pants. We're going out.
Look, at the end of the day, I've had so many issues because I used to just take somebody's beat and rap on it and throw it on SoundCloud, and now that's why half of New Jersey's hip hop hates me. Because like the producers would be like, "Yo, pay me for this shit." And I'd be like, I didn't understand the idea of paying your producer until like I was 21. I grew up with my best friend Armin, who's out in California right now. He's produced for like Young Thug, 𝗙cie, like a bunch of people. Like, and he started off in a rock band, honestly, and he was the lead singer and he wrote all the stuff. But I started off with him producing everything, so like we were all doing everything together and we were just like broke together. So I never thought about it until after he went to California and came back and was like, "Yeah, dude, you got to pay people for this stuff." And I was like, "Oh, dude, fuck, it makes sense."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, we kind of ran into that issue with the sample for 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗆cie. It's 𝗙cie 𝗹𝗹𝗆cie, by the way.
Yeah.
Tears on My Eyes. So we did that record. We kind of ran into that issue, and then we got into this back and forth with the label that owned the licensing. At that point, I felt disrespected, and I was like, I don't really care. So we went back in the bag. We found another record, which I won't reveal. I'm the first person to ever sample snitch on himself in hip hop. But I thought I was being respectful. That's the thing. Like, for me, the whole thing was annoying because all these reissuer labels that like get all this music from like Africa, Armenia, or from older Armenian records from America, they're really just taking advantage of cultural heirlooms, in my opinion. So like those things are like heritage things. You can get it, I can get it. And for you to hold it hostage is kind of crazy. You're not doing anything with the record. And if you're really representing the intentions and the well-being of the artist that recorded them and getting them money, you would just clear it. Because what is that $1,000 going to do for the record? If I could take that $1,000 and throw it into promoting the record, wouldn't that be better long term? Like if you think about it.
I mean, I'm not in that industry, but I never understood the catalog label industry of super niche music.
There's these guys who own every Ethiopian jazz record and they've never been to Ethiopia. Like there's guys that have like this roster of great African artists and black artists in America that have Instagrams with no pictures with black people on them. Like, you know, it's like fucking, it's so fucking weird, dude. It's like, I don't know, you know that one sports guy who has like all this black memorabilia? Is like some white guy has like Jackie Robinson's this and that, and like it's such a weird fetishization of like culture.
That could be like 3 people, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think it's Peter Gammons, but it might not be. But either way, it's so weird that you kind of champion this thing, but you don't do any other aspect of your life where you don't profit off it. You never see it in your personal life.
Right.
And for me, we have the background right here. This is Record City in Brooklyn.
Okay.
It's like one of the finest Jamaican record stores in the country, I would say easily. Some guy out in New Jersey owns it, and then we have Forrest Gilbeckian who works there, is the homie. And I was in there, and we were going over like Jamaican cut records. So Jamaican cut vinyl, the way they cut it very hot. So what ends up happening is the bass ends up being super loud. So like you could be on 0 and it sounds like it's on 7.
Right.
Like a lot of hip hop artists from like the 90s, especially from the South, they would go get Jamaican cuts of their like singles and stuff. So if you listen to like Juvenile, anybody from like Lil Wayne, actually, the big timers, I think 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗆cie, like they have all these records that have the regular cut and then they have the Jamaican cut, and you play the Jamaican cut and it sounds like the bass is being boosted. But it's cool that in a way where you can respect that little micro niche as opposed to buy all the records.
Yeah, and just sit on them.
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, it's like I don't think it's like disrespectful, but I think it's you have no connection with it, so you don't know what to do with it, as opposed to like somebody who has spent a lot of time on it.
Sure.
In terms of the reissuer labels, honestly, it's a confusing thing, and I think that there's a good way to do it. There's a good way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it, of course.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you look into like 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗆cie, like 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗆cie is doing it the right way. They just did that Persian release where they did all the Iranian music. They know what they're doing, and they understand it. Whereas these other, it's like they have like they put together like a whole booklet. Like it came to the record that they had. I think I have it with me now, but it's like it came together with a booklet, and like a PhD doctor like did a whole dissertation in that booklet for it. Every song has its lyrics in Farsi, English, and like it's like ridiculous. And like the whole packaging is ridiculous. So that's something that I'm looking forward to doing as well, because the way that we consume music is just as important as the music we consume.
Sure.
Like, so the method of delivery has to be interesting.
Hands like an immigrant jeweler, dropping carrots the size of tumors. Manufactured goods make addicts out of consumers. Stash heavy like 𝗙cie𝗹𝗋. She look at my pockets, ask is that a ruler? Nah, it ain't straight to the paper, allergic to origami. Balkan breakfast, feta and fresh peppers. Tony Soprano, reading the Star Ledger. Baguette always tucked and loaded. I should get a holster. Be easy before you get pressed with the heat and turn panini toy soldier. How you lose your noodles before you get to the pancetta? Even flow, young Yeti Vetta. It's Mo say it ain't so. If you ain't know better, speech got them fucked up like tributes from Denny DeGuetta. Hokey should rubric like a Rubik's Cube. Mysterious yet pouring like a brick Ruben in a loop. For you, I repeat 11 pomegranates. I ain't pushing platitudes. Feelings got me sitting sideways like a lateral. It's tears on my eyes and they won't subside. All the lies that I live swirl around my lid. Reflection eternal, sticks got them jumping straight out of my journal. Tears on my eyes and they won't subside.
All right, so we were talking about the album Autumn in Anatolia. So
Yeah.
It was a lot of digging records, going through like a bunch of old stuff from different decades. Because I kind of wanted to get a flavor of different parts of the diaspora. I'm Western Armenian, which means that my parents came from Turkey. So there's like a distinct sound of music that I knew growing up. And a lot of that is Turkish music, so that's influenced me. But
Yeah.
being Western Armenian is also a huge thing because I think I'm like the last person on the planet that raps in Western Armenian. Everybody else is kind of doing the Eastern dialect. And I was doing these freestyles like I think 2 years ago, and they just threw up on Instagram for fun, and it kind of got a lot of buzz. I got like a magazine interview off it from Kami John. I mean, a lot of people were interested in hearing that, and for me, it's never been a thing where I wanted to ever culture vulture on my own culture.
Sure.
I feel like there's few Armenian artists who kind of sort of like jab at the genocide thing a little too hard, and it kind of comes off as insincere in a way, and it's kind of like trauma porn. And for me,
It's
in
like
general,
a caricature. Also.
yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like the crazy. It's like, you know how like
Yeah.
in the 80s and 70s they had like the Hollywood stereotype of the crazy Armenian, or
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
really downtrodden Armenian, the mentally ill Armenian.
Right.
But like
Right.
that's like you're playing into that caricature and you're perpetuating these stereotypes that don't really represent us as a whole. Like obviously there's a lot of trauma in us,
Sure.
and science has shown trauma gets passed down for like 5 generations or something like that. We're neck deep in it.
Right.
But like, dude, my psychiatrist is Turkish. You got to get past things, and you got to be a person who can adjust to what it is. And I think a lot of us
Right.
have, and that's why a lot of us are doing interesting things. So I've found a lot of good resources along the way. There's Olivia Melkonian, I think she runs an analog in Armenia. She goes to like Lebanon and finds all the
yeah.
cassettes and stuff like that. There's another Armenian records in 45s. It's like a lot of these pages I found through Instagram. Like it's not to say that our music is niche. At least the East Coast, I would say, like the people that make music on the East Coast that are Armenian, there really isn't a community for it. And if there, it's like kind of sort of like what it's gonna be like me and Tony Marino hanging out, which is like totally like the party you want to go to. But we're on two different ends of the spectrum. We're on two different ends of the spectrum. There's like no medium ground. Like on the West Coast, you kind of sort of have all these people who DJ and stuff, and it kind of sort of comes together. But it's kind of maybe I think hip hop is kind of looked at in a weird way here stateside because there's not really like a community. I mean,
I say that for any artists movement or scene here, there just isn't a community for us. Whereas I talk to my cousins in LA and it's just, yeah, everyone supports each other, but sometimes we do it out of obligation. I'm like, at least you still do it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know that I'm holding people hostage, making them go to my shows and stuff, but like at least at the end of the day, they're coming and tickets are sold. But over here, it's kind of sort of like, it kind of feels like the Beatles, like how the Beatles had to leave England and get big somewhere else and come back. And for the Armenian community here, Tony Marino being a prime example of this, like he's a kid who has like a bunch of people on Instagram and he's got like a bunch of listeners. And he did that by himself. And then he didn't make an Armenian record until I think he's only like 22 at this point, but he's been making music for a while. So he came back to that and now he's like catering to the Armenian thing. So for me, I never really felt the need to cater into that. A lot of this Armenian bubble that we have here on this side is kind of xenophobic. And hip hop is absolutely the opposite of that. Hip hop is about like embracing other cultures. So
as if we don't deal with that anyway.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, if you want to like eliminate people from liking you by not liking them, that's a really smart tactic for survival. But we could go on about that for days. But
I just don't think that stuff's interest. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I don't care if I offend anyone because I'm not even part of that world. I don't find it interesting.
No, it's like eating the same thing for lunch every day, dude. For the rest of your life. Like, why would you do that? Like you live in a part of the country where you could eat any type of food. Like we have Queens from a stone's throw away from us, you know, like Jersey has some of the best places to eat across cultures. So for me, I always break it down to food for like cross-cultural exchange. Why wouldn't I want to do it? Like I had 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹cie on the first record, which was just like a compilation of all the records. And I wrote a poem and he was just reading the poem that was literally about sharing food. It just makes sense when you sit in somebody's shoes and you have what they're eating for dinner, you kind of sort of get where they're coming from better than they can tell you. There's a level of appreciation that comes across in like cultural food that you couldn't explain in words for sure.
Yeah. Totally.
But yeah, people like 𝗙cie, a lot of people like the Comedy Job magazine, a lot of people were excited with the Western Armenian thing. So I've been racking my brain on how to make the right records to where there's an English and an Armenian balance. Because with my last record, it just hit, I think, 500,000 total streams, which is kind of ridiculous for somebody who doesn't really market well. But like a lot of it was coming from Armenia. A lot of it was coming from California. Obviously not enough coming from the East Coast, but that's whatever. But there's a lot of Armenian fans in Armenia, and like, they enjoy this stuff because a lot of the things I make have cultural tones, but it's not annoying about it. I think that's the most important thing. When you listen to System, when you listen to like people who integrate the culture without beating your head over it, like you said, like for me, I'm not interested in it like that as well. But I do like the aspects of it where it's cool. You could talk to me about Armenian pagan culture for like 4 or 5 years in a row, and I wouldn't mind it. But if you want to tell me about like these associations and like these groups around here, I wouldn't be able to sit through a meeting. But like there's certain... Then like, but the music and like the art, there's a bunch of stuff that I'm interested in. But in terms of this narrative of like whatever's going on socially, no, I can't handle that at all. But there's also being an artist, you know, we have to speak on stuff. So there's that balance there.
At the end of the day, for me, it's like, what new are you bringing to the table? The stuff that is out there that the community seems to eat up, it's just the same thing that's been going on for the last 3-4 decades.
Yeah, it feels like we're on a 25-year loop or something.
Exactly.
Everything that we've done can be epitomized by 𝗙cie 𝗹𝗹cie 1 through 4 volumes.
Right. But like, literally just add a trap beat over it.
Yeah, like dude, like no offense to like Tony Marino, like this guy, he's just making Armenian Afro house. Like, what does that even mean? Like, you're not pushing your medium. This like caricature that like a lot of artists in general, I think it's better and more interesting from artists from Armenia. There's this kid Mamba who's making rap music. He's making some cool stuff. And then you have Artyom. He plays like cello and then he raps too. And there's a lot of people there that
there's this kid, I forgot his name. He works with Arto a lot. He's an electronica dude. Just taking random organic
he makes
samples.
like random sounds, right? We've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
He takes like organic samples and then makes them sound electronic basically.
Yeah, there's like so much like the indie scene over there is like probably probably one of the most interesting I've seen. I know they have like a lot of black metal there too and stuff. So it's
yeah.
it's interesting to see where they've gone with it since the Soviet Union going away. But I'm just trying to make this narrative here where I'm like talking to those people and talking to people here, but also I'm not really talking to any of them because like at the end of the day, when I make records, it's for people who enjoy hip hop. If you happen to be Armenian, that's cool. The idea is sitting back and thinking like, hey, the Alchemist is sampling Armenian stuff. Dr. Dre is sampling Armenian stuff.
Sure.
If he's going to be doing all this stuff, like I might as well do it too. I have more of a knowledge base than they do.
Right.
I got to do it before they do it. I mean, you had the Bad Bunny song that had the Charles Aznavour sample.
Right.
I flipped that sample in 2021, like 2021. Like, so I know I've been like knocking on the doorstep of these things and not saying that it would be a record on that level, but I know that like there's certain sounds that I know what's good and what's not. And I think as an artist that where I've gotten better is curating in that way and having this trust in my intuition about what's going to be a good record and what's not. Because like when I said like the SoundCloud era, when I started, I was just making whatever anytime, but without discernment. I think that's like where a lot of people lose energy just doing all these random things without really thinking them through.
Well, there's a beauty to that too when you're doing that in the beginning.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's like where you kind of find it stylistically. I don't really premeditate a lot of the stuff I do anyway nowadays. Like I'll start a session by just like kind of sort of chopping a record and like seeing what could loop a little bit, and then I'll have that looping in the background. I'll write a little bit, then I'll come back to it, throw on some fake drums, but then I'll throw that over to Sticks, and Sticks will put some actual drums on it, and like we'll figure it out and like kind of flesh it out. It's like a sculptor with a huge rock piece of marble. Like, you know, just like you got to chisel it away and we'll figure out what's going to happen with it. So I think it's more methodical in a way, but like you said, messing around is where the best stuff happens because you're not thinking. And for me, I think that like when I'm writing, at least lyrically, the best time for me is right when I wake up. Like I'll wake up and have a coffee and it'll be like an hour before I have to get to work or something.
Right.
That's like when the realest stuff comes out. But I think as a creative, we just all have to find what time is the best time for us during the day, during the week, and kind of sort of, you have to schedule off that time for yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to make stuff done. I know like a lot of people are like, they're like really against this scheduling thing, but kind of have to so you could hit this consistency baseline. Past couple of years, and especially now, like I'm medicated from a psychiatrist. Like I've gotten the therapy, I went to therapy. Like I'm getting healthy overall as a human being. All these things I'm doing in a way is for the music. The better you feel as a person, the more you're able to do. Yeah. And as much as emotional turmoil does fuel some music, and there's like a lot of records I've made that has come from that, there's a benefit to being healthy as a person overall and having like a consistency in your life. And that's for a long time, I did not have that. But I think it's been a process. I think since 2020, since I got recommitted back to making music, because I kind of got disillusioned from it, it's been interesting to see like the people that gravitate towards it and like the improvement that happens between making music. I think is more important nowadays. I feel like I get better when I stop making music and take a little break and come back to it. Whatever happens in life in between kind of sort of saturates and comes out.
Yeah, that's important too, though.
Yeah, I think those are like the biggest growth part. Like, I mean, technically I'm not getting any skills at those times, but it's a lot of the time I was, I would get like disillusioned from listening to new music. Which is bad. Like, cause dude, I love music. That's why I got into it. That's why you probably got into it too. At the end of the day, I enjoyed a bunch of different shit, and that's why I wanted to make stuff.
Right.
But nowadays, like I'll take a break from music, and I took like a 2-month break from January to February, and I was literally just listening to Billy Joel. I was like, what's this about?
Sure.
Yeah, dude. And then he's got like the Moving Out song where he's dissing Hackensack. I love that. I was like, dude, I hate Hackensack too.
Who needs a house out in Hackensack? I know you get for your money. Okay. Chasing venture paper, like what Twitter did. Sick of arguing with white dudes on the internet.
But it's like you listen to Billy Joel, you listen to Prince, you listen to these guys, and like they build out the records themselves. And I think that's been the most important key thing for me, learning how to build out the whole record thing. Because it's cool. I can go on YouTube and I can rap over a random beat and it can work. And then we could just swap out the beat and do it later. But I think it's like if we build it out first, it just works out better that way.
It's better in terms of mindset too, and in terms of the integrity.
At the end of the day, it's like I do that YouTube thing and I'll like kind of sort of just know what the BPM is, and then we'll build out the beat that way. You can reverse engineer it as well, which is it's the beauty of hip hop, honestly, because if it was like any other type of music, like it wouldn't work. Like a lot of the time I could write stuff with no beat in mind and just have a tempo in my head, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's important too. I mean, I'll literally be listening to like 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹cie and I'll listen to like a lot of movie scores, honestly. Movie scores from like the 70s from Italy and stuff like that. Like a lot of that stuff, I'll just rap over that stuff. And it's never going to be a record like that, but you find like that's like what I do when I'm just messing around. And that's what I was doing with that Western Armenian stuff. And
Yeah.
honestly,
No,
as much as I hate it, people like it. And I think that if I'm the only one on the planet that can do it, I guess I kind of have to do it. And I think like it's starting to get fun for me. It took a while for it to get fun.
I guess you just have to find that groove and then.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
find
for me,
that
it's
moment.
like when we make stuff, like it's because we like it. You know what I mean? So
Right,
like I would
right,
just
right,
listen
right.
to it and I'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't listen to this. I think at the end of the day, the number one test is always like when I finish a song, finish a project, I'll play it back to myself, and it's like with fresh ears, and I'm like, what would the 13-year-old version of SayMo listen to this? If it's a no, then I probably won't drop it, or then I'll just like show it to like 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝘆𝗠cie and be like, hey, what do you think?
What,
And then
what do you
like,
think? Right? Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And it's like I don't really show a lot of people. We have like the Doobies, who's our whole collective. I'll throw it in there, and like you kind of have like honest feedback, and like you need that as an artist because you kind of get inside your head and you're like, I don't like this shit at all. I mean, like the day of you love it, the next day you hate it. For me, it's really that 13-year-old version of myself. Like, hey, would he like this? And that's an important thing.
You got to appeal to that youthful
Yeah, I
side
mean,
that
I
you
gotta,
still have
yeah,
in
like
you.
if the energy's there, that was the same energy that got me into it,
Yeah.
then that's important.
Is there anything new that sort of caught your ear in recent years?
In terms of what, for musically?
Yeah.
I like a lot of the hip hop that's coming out of New Jersey.
Okay.
I like Papo 2004, Subject 5, who's like he produced the record on the new album coming out.
Okay, cool.
It's been fun, like giving like Armenian records to people that are not from the culture and telling them like, yo, just take this song and sample it and do something crazy with it, make it sound like whatever. So it's been cool to expose people to that stuff.
That's
But
interesting.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Honestly, the hyper pop stuff is interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like I don't know if I would say it's interesting. You can see like the youthful energy in it. And like, not that I would listen to it on my own, but if I come across it, I'll be like, hey, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, conceptually, yeah. I'm never gonna put it on.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, there's like a couple songs I like, like
yeah.
Two Hollis. There's like a couple songs
Yeah.
here and there. And I think the most important thing as an artist is definitely listen to new music all the time. Even if
Sure.
you don't like it, even if it's not going to become your favorite. There's a lot of female singers that I like that are brand new. There's like this girl, Lamb, who has a song called Overkill. Literally, I saw the song get popular over the span of like a month and a half, 2 months. So she went from like having like 4,000 followers to now she's at like 80,000 followers, and the song hit 1 million in like 2 weeks. A lot of that stuff is interesting, but I think that the European hip hop is really interesting, especially the production side. You got a lot of these guys like Philip Neuf. He's somebody I've worked with. There's like even Armenians in France who are like doing this stuff where like they produce projects for from rappers from here and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So it's been interesting to see that. But overall, I'm just kind of sticking to like older stuff at this point. I'm listening to like a lot of soul, a lot of funk, a lot of jazz. So I gotta switch it up always though, because otherwise I'm just gonna get stuck in a rut.
No, I could relate to that.
How about you? What's a new project that's stuck to you?
I really got into the shoegaze resurgence that was happening the last handful of years. All this music that happened way before they were born. But then when I actually started hearing some of it, a band like 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗆cie, Nothing, or even Dive, it's really cool because these are like people in their 20s and 30s that don't have any reference to what was happening in the late 80s and early 90s, and they're basically
Carrying the torch in a way without even knowing you're carrying the torch.
that's
you know?
exactly it. Yeah. That's
Because it's
exactly
like there's
it.
an ethos, there's in hip hop,
Yeah, yeah.
it's in shoegaze, it's in every type of music
Yeah.
where like there's a certain fundamental like belief system that's built into the system, the music, and like you could end up making shoegaze and not realize you're making shoegaze. You know,
That's
like
exactly it. Yeah.
so it's like they ended up just doing it. Like for me, one of like my favorite artists that I've listened to recently is Drew Kelly, this rapper from Missouri.
I've
He's
heard of his name. Yeah.
it's really interesting. It's kind of sort of like Eminem in a way, but it's not. Like he grew up in a trailer park too. His mom, God rest her soul, like she had a troubled past as well. The way that he approaches hip hop is like the same energy as early Eminem, but not in the same way. It's like cross racial. It's cross everything. It's like
Sure.
when you make a certain type of music at a certain level of expertise, people are just going to gravitate towards it, whether it's shoegaze, hip hop, or whatever. There's a respect level, and at this point, you can pop out of anywhere making anything. So it's super cool.
And the other thing I
Like-
find interesting is a lot of these younger artists, they'll find one aspect of one artist that really hits with them, and then they just run with that. And then they almost like create something else from that.
I 100% get it too, because for me, like I said, Ghostface Supreme Clientele was like a fundamental thing for me.
Right.
because I've always been an ADHD kid. You can tell now from this podcast that I probably talk a little too fast. He would just like do run-on sentences, and it would be metaphors, and it would just be like poetic speaking, where like the sentences aren't even really sentences. He's just saying random shit, and they connect together. And I really gravitated towards that. I was like, yo, this like speaks to my thought pattern. And from there, I was like, whether it's subconsciously or not, like you kind of just like pick up what you like from the music you like these kids do, and you kind of run with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, on the other hand, there's also like the songwriting aspect. That's something I've been focusing on more so with this project, because like you want to have a bridge, you want to have a chorus, like you want people to have memorable things. Like as much as you want to put like these, I think there's a lot of rappers that do this spiritual miracle thing where they're like kind of just like trying to rap for the sake of rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
like,
is
no
fine
offense
too.
to anybody, but it's like that music is not accessible.
No,
It's not
right.
like, and I wouldn't want to listen to that shit. I'm sorry, once again, like that's the number one thing. If I have a record that I made, I'm like, would I listen to this or not? Probably not, dude. So then it's not coming out. But
And that
like,
was sort of the debate that was happening again around the it was the 2010s.
what is that with like Atlanta hip hop versus New York hip hop?
Yeah. How come New York hip hop isn't on the same level as the Midwest or like the South? Because New York rappers or hip hop artists don't want to make pop records. I don't know. Like,
No, like they really don't make pop. They don't make pop records. The only way they get on pop records is remixes. It took a long time until I think there was like what 50 Cent was the first one.
Jay-Z
was the first one in a while.
Jay-Z, 50
Since
Cent,
and then Jay-Z
right.
was he was teetering. He's not like a super mega. And then you had Pop
No.
Smoke, who passed away. Pop Smoke was probably the first major New York artist who was like a pop threat. Cause like he had like 3 songs hit the top 10 that were like his first 3 songs. And like if he hadn't passed away, I think he was one of the most interesting artists. But
maybe the Bad Boy stuff.
And yeah, the Bad Boy stuff, but like that's even earlier. That's the 90s. You had Diddy and stuff, and we can't even mention him. But
That's why I just refer to the label as a whole.
yeah, the label as a whole. I mean, look, there's also that thing where you have to separate the artist from the art. Like as much as I hate to say it, R. Kelly has some crazy ass songs. If you look at R. Kelly's catalog, he's got like 13 or 14 songs that are undeniable.
He was a massive artist in his
He's a massive artist, and he didn't miss for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like separating the art from the artist, for me, it's hard to do. Like I give myself like 1 R. Kelly songs I can listen to per year. Yeah. But
I can listen to the Smiths, but Morrissey solo, it's hard.
Yeah, no, I've had dreams of like getting in a fist fight with Morrissey. Like it's the weirdest thing. It's my favorite recurring dream is me fist fighting Morrissey.
Oh dear God, no! I look like bloody Churchill. Shut your gobs, you wankers! Woohoo! Wankers!
Not like as a young man, as an old man. I just want to beat his ass.
like old Morrissey.
Yeah, I just want to beat the shit out of old Morrissey. Like, I feel like he deserves it. Like, he wouldn't see it coming, and I'm always like stalking him too. So it's like, it's like a deeply seated thing. I don't know what it means, but I'll probably talk to my shrink about it. But at the end of the day, it's like certain people piss you off, and it turns you off from their music. And I mean, what I've been doing with this legalized weed in Armenia thing, where I just commented under every media outlet, I think it's either putting people on or making them piss at me. Either way, it's divisive. I think that's important.
I mean, eyeballs are eyeballs, right?
Yeah, dude. It's the funniest thing. I'll have people in my DMs like, dude, what are you trying to do? You're trying to undermine Armenia from overseas. I'm like, dude, I'm just leaving a comment about weed, dude.
Yeah, it's like, I wish I had that kind of power.
Yeah, meanwhile, Armin Sarukian is showing, shout out to the big dog Armin Sarukian. Yeah. He's showing himself in like underground weed growing operations. Nobody said, yo, honestly, as much as I don't want to like him, I have to like him. He's hilarious.
Nah, he is. He
pisses off Dana White, which is like one of the #1 ops in the world to me, because he is. That guy's a terrible human being, and he just has human beings fight like in the Gladiator Coliseum for like pennies. Meanwhile, he gets like who knows what amount of money out of it. The funny thing is I think Armand really embodies the Armenian spirit of we don't give a fuck. We're just gonna do what we want to do. Because, like, you know, he comes from money from less than, Yeah, from the mafia, pretty much.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
his uncle Gagi has the big Jesus statue going up in Armenia.
Oh yeah, that monstrosity.
Yeah, that's his
right.
uncle, dude. That's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
crazy.
I know.
But yeah, so he has his own money, so he doesn't have to worry about the UFC. And he's just like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna fuck around and make videos all day eating all this food, even though I weighed in overweight at my last fight, and you have to give me the title shot. Like, dude, that's the funniest part about it. He's eating like these ribeyes that are like fucking 4 pounds. But the last time he was supposed to fight, he didn't make weight.
Yeah, well.
I mean, I think there's a lot of that. I think it embodies a lot of the Armenian spirit. For me, it comes from reading writers like Saroyan or like Diana de Hovhannisyan, the poetry aspects of it and the other ends of it. And it's just like, I was always a writer before I came into music. I thought I was going to be like a lawyer or a writer before I thought I was going to do music. So I took that aspect, and I mean, hip hop is hip hop at the end of the day. And it's like coming back to that New York point thing, like Armin comes with like a East Coast type of style and stuff like that, where like he kind of has like that. I wouldn't say it's generic, but it's like very definitively 90s Nas type of structure for his rhymes.
The cadence and vocal
the cadence and everything, and like the internal rhymes and stuff like that. And it's like cool because the guy got to make a record with Nas, which is like, congrats to you. Like, I'm always gonna big up people who do business well and get their shit done and kind of get their shit done. But for me personally, it's like pushing the envelope is more interesting than anything else. There's always going to be people who make stuff that's like consumable for the period in time where it's made. But I think we're aiming for stuff that you can hear it from like 10 years from now and it's still like fresh. It's got to have like some stink on it. That's the really important thing. You want to make something with like when you walk by the fridge and you smell something weird and then you go back and you smell it again. Like you want to make music like that.
Yeah. Just
like slightly off-putting. Off-putting.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the visuals have been that too. Like we've done like the caricature of the puppet, the 3D puppet, and stuff like that. And like and if you look at like the discography now because of 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝟎, literally every album cover it's distinctive, but it also fits in with the whole theme. It looks like a little gallery at this point. And as much as like don't judge a book by its cover, I definitely judge books by the cover.
Yeah, especially now you have a centimeter by centimeter space to make your impact.
And at the end of the day, the way you wrap up the project and like the gift wrapping, supposedly, whatever, it's just as important as what's inside.
Yeah.
Because it like kind of sort of shows how much you respect the process.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're just like throwing together this art that's bullshit, not trying to be a snob about it, but like if you're just throwing together like some AI bullshit generated, like come on. Speaking of AI, how do you feel about this AI Suno music?
AI as a whole, I think it's in terms of the infrastructure of it is ridiculous and shouldn't exist. If we just want to talk about the music production aspect of it.
Yeah, is there any application?
I don't know. What happened?
I don't know either. I don't like.
What happened to songwriting? I don't know.
Yeah, like, dude, why are you typing it? Why are you going to ChatGPT and writing ChatGPT in your lyrics, and then you're going to Suno and telling them how to make a certain style of song, and then giving them the lyrics? Like, how do you consider yourself an artist at that point?
Yeah,
you're a prompt writer.
Yeah, I guess it's like a quick way to present a song or a demo.
I'm all for bullshitting, but that's the craziest bullshit. That's the craziest bullshit move I've ever heard in my life, dude.
What?
It's like. No, but like the songs sound good. Not substance wise, but like audio wise, they sound great.
It's gotten there. Like it's gotten there. It used to have weird artifacts and weird frequencies initially, which sort of gave it away. But now it's getting to the point where it's indiscernible.
Like the mix is good. Like a lot of like the vocals are like crisp as hell. And like, I'll think about it. Like a lot of artists I know, they don't have vocals that good. So it's like, how do you compete with that market? Because like, the average consumer of music is like not gonna care if you were AI or not.
Yeah. Also, modern production's fake anyway.
Most of it.
You know what I mean?
Look, like... I have a cello player on one of the records, and then I had the other Sarvin 𝗙𝗹𝗎𝗎 from Montreal. He was the one who played 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝟎 on one of the records, and then we chopped that. He played it, then I chopped it up, and we made a beat out of it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we had a cello player come in with a phrase that was like from some Armenian concerto and played that over it too. So it's like that record feels way more whole and it only has like 3 or 4 tracks on it, as opposed to like these other ones where we have probably like 12 to 13 and they're all audio sound and they're all like computer sounds.
Yeah.
But I think that it's interesting that like you said that they're not real. With hip hop, it's like you can take stuff that's not real, like that kid who took those organic sounds and like made them into shit. You can do that with just like not real sounds. But it's really the way you flip it. It's really the way you cut the records, the way you loop shit, the way you really filter it out and throw it to the bus, the mix bus. But a lot of people don't take that time. They kind of sort of just go to YouTube and get a tutorial on how to make this type of beat and then just do that. So it all sounds the same and it all sounds like generic as fuck. Like if you take the time to make your own sound bank, that's what like really differentiates you from other people. You know, you're going out of your way, you're finding your stabs, your like, you know, your kicks, everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I also mean in terms of like most top 40 production, a lot of these songwriters and producers, they're all just pulling from loop libraries and
it's spliced. Everything is spliced.
Everything is spliced. And then when the artist comes in to sing it, it's all auto-tuned to shit anyway at the end of the day. So it's like, what are we listening to?
Yeah, like there's like an interesting dialogue there because there's singers that are pop singers that can actually sing.
Sure.
But the records they're cutting don't show that.
No, not at all.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So it's like at this point, what type of music are you making? Like, is it even music at this point? It's just like commercialized bullshit.
Yeah. And I'm not dogging top 40 music. Like,
no, top 40 music has some good stuff. Like there's Chappelle Roan. Yeah, she's dope. She makes good records. Like there's a lot of people. Sam Smith makes cool records.
Yeah.
Like what's her name? Olivia Dean.
Oh,
she's amazing.
Yeah.
Her stuff is more interesting because she can actually sing. They let her sing.
Sure. What's her name from England? Arlo Parks.
Yep. And Olivia Dean, once again, from England. So it's like, you see, like, maybe it's the USA's problem, honestly.
It could be.
Like, there's more interesting hip-hop coming from England than I would say from the US overall.
Yeah.
If you say per capita.
Yeah. Well, that's been the case.
Yeah, because they're, like, on a decade's delay. Like, that's why I like to look at it. They're a decade behind what we're doing right now here. So they don't have like all this current shit influencing them.
Right. But then they also kind of set the trajectory for music for the next 10 years. You know, it's like,
yeah, because they'll have like this breakout artist that'll just do it and like it's kind of crazy. But music on a global scale, it's been dope to be on the internet. It's the way that I got into music. As much as it's been a gift, it's been a curse too. Because like there's just so much shit coming out nowadays, man. There's just so much stuff coming out.
Yeah, it can get daunting. It's true.
It's like, dude, I'll force myself to listen to like a new album every 2 days. That is not even putting in a dent into it, dude. It's not even putting a dent into it.
Mm-hmm. No,
but yeah, I mean, it's been a pleasure, my man. Autumn and Anatolia, I don't know when it's coming out. It'll be coming out maybe in autumn or maybe after that. The name is the name. But it's been a labor of love, and I'll probably never sample anything Armenian after this because I'm kind of sick of it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think that I have a singing project coming out on the side as well. It's always good to try out different shoes, I think, musically at least.
That was SayMo. Give him a follow on all his socials. I'll have all his links available in the usual sections. I'll probably have him again for the next episode to continue this conversation. The Basements Were Stars is a Caspian Seal production. Intro and outro music by yours truly. Background music by 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝘆𝗠cie. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll hopefully see you around real soon.